Blue Shirt Underground Show, the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blue Shirt Underground, motherfucker!
BS Ranger fan. BS Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good evening, everybody. You are watching the often imitated, never duplicated Blue Shirt Underground show. My name is Jim. Today is January 9th. It is Tuesday. And as always, I'm joined on the other side of the window by the lovely, the talented, the vivacious, the robust Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir. How are you?
You said robust. I thought of Golden's mustard or something. I'm doing good. First off, I'd like to say a happy birthday to your wonderful soulmate there, Jennifer Eberhardt.
Thank you. I know she appreciates that. She'll be tuning in later.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she's off to work tonight.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, but
she's like, you doing a show on my birthday? I said I wouldn't be doing the show if you were home. And she goes, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife said that too. I said, I've done shows on her birthday. But yeah, she's working. If she wasn't working, you'd be guys out partying.
Right.
We know how you guys operate. You like to go to the bars. You like to drink, have a cocktail, have a laugh, maybe do a song.
Right.
Karaoke.
Sing a little ditty.
Maybe guys do a little duo like Islands in the Stream or something.
I think we've sang one. I think I got her up there once.
Jen seems like she would be shy when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's not her. It's not really her. She's completely content to let me to watch me sing.
Christina's the absolute opposite. She likes to pick the right song.
Oh, great! Hey, look, it takes guts. It really does. It takes guts.
On one of the cruises they had, you notice me and Jim are trying not to talk about the New York Rangers as long as possible before we get into the show. But on one of the cruises, you do karaoke with a live band. So she did. I'm Wanted Dead or Alive by
Bon Jovi.
Yeah, by Bon Jovi.
That's a hard song, man. Wanted, dead or alive.
Pat T, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Pat?
How are you? Oh, Lord, I don't know what the hell is going on. All right. Let's get to it. I know.
All right. I hate to start the show off on a down note, although the Rangers aren't going to help us out much here. But I did want to mention that I found out late last night that longtime listener, and he was around almost as long as Frosty, John Moldovan, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Was at a viewing party or two, I believe.
Yeah, he came down.
He was known here in the chat as Mr. French. He passed away, and I felt bad that we didn't know this back in April, actually, of last year. John was battling cancer, and he was improving. I spoke to his sister briefly last night. He was improving, and then he went to the hospital with an infection and just and never came back from it. And unfortunately, we lost John back in April. John had two loves in his life: the Rangers and chess. But you talk about a guy with recall, Eddie. You and I could pull the most obscure mention out of Ranger history, and he could give you 5 paragraphs on it.
Right.
I mean, he really knew his stuff when it came to Ranger history. And he was a nice guy, a supporter of the show. And it was sad to hear. I was sad to hear that. I happened to be scrolling through my friends list last night, and I came across his name, and I realized we hadn't seen him in a while. And I clicked onto his profile, and I kind of saw a comment that made me think that, something had happened. And I reached out to the person who made the comment, who just happened to be his sister, and we talked for a few minutes. And I told her how much he meant to us and the show, and what a great guy he was, and he will be missed. So, Mr. French, John, if you're listening, we love you, we miss you, and thank you.
I'm gonna. He was a kind of a quiet guy. Oh, okay. I had been talking to him. I just pulled it up. This is in 23. February 20th, 2023. I said, how have you been holding up? I was thinking about you the other day. Let me know. Then he got back to me the same day. He said, I'm doing well, having a transplant next week. I said, good. Keep up the good fight. And that was the last. So wow, that's on my birthday. Oh, my
Of 23?
Of 23, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he made it for the transplant he was
okay.
He was counting on. So
wow, that sucks, man.
Unfortunately, he lost his battle. He was probably mid-60s. Again, far too young. Good guy.
Very introverted. Like when I met him, I've got a picture. I'll post it on the underground. I think me and him. He was not because a lot of times when you were on the computer, and back then we were on Block Talk for most of his tenure with us, and
right.
He was great with the quips, but yep. He wasn't he very gregarious on the chat, but when you met him in person, very quiet, that happens. There's some, and that's all good. I was just surprised he came down, and I forget where that was. I don't think it was at McHale's. I think it might have been at the other place.
No, it was. Might have been Slattery's. It might have been Percy's. I mean, it was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it might have been Slattery's.
Right.
So,
all right. Now we brought everybody down. Let's
bring them further.
No, I don't think you can get further than a death. Even though Rangers hockey has been lackluster, to say the least.
All right.
I'm going to let you go because I feel like you got more fervor about this, more frustration than I do at this point.
Well, I am frustrated. I just think I think the cracks are beginning to show. Hey, Chris, I think this. I don't. It's probably partially the injuries, partially the roster construction, partially we just have. There's a lack of talent in some spots right now. Rangers made a big change today, apparently in practice. Will Cooley was put on the first line with Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider, which may mean that the Blake Wheeler experiment has come to an end. Will Cooley was put on the first line. Let's be honest, folks. I know he had a little run there with a point streak, but he was not meant. This is not the version of Blake Wheeler you want on your first line. 10 years ago, maybe so. Not anymore. Too slow, too slow to keep up with Zibanejad and Kreider, and he's holding that line back. So that experiment hopefully has come to an end. And the Rangers also sent Brendan Othman back to Hartford.
He played so much.
Yes. Peter Laviolette, whose press conference from today I do have, if we want to listen to it, basically said that thought he had a good first game and that he kind of was not as noticeable the second after that. So he was sent back. Jake Lecision has been resummoned from Hartford. Adam Edstrom has a lower or upper or somewhere on his body injury. So he was unavailable for a call up. Hence,
Chris Frenzel.
Hey, Chris. Hence, Jake Lecision.
That's a bad decision.
It's a bad decision. Yes. Yes, it's a bad decision.
I like that one. See, you guys are I appreciate there's some people who have hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. Continue. I've seen it mentioned in the chat room, but continue.
All right. To continue, Johnny Brodzinski. Again, I understand we've got some guys hurt, but
you suck.
He's just not an NHL player.
You suck.
And they're suffering. I don't understand. I don't understand
why
he's on the second power play unit, but
he's terrible.
I find it hard to believe there's not a better option, but what do I know? I've never coached an NHL team.
He's terrible, ladies and gentlemen.
He's terrible. Look, he's standing up, ladies and gentlemen.
He is terrible. I don't understand.
And let's see. Next on my list, Eric Gustafsson, who we all loved and got off to a great start, and we loved how he looked, and we loved how he moved the puck, and he was scoring, and he's nowhere. The bloom is off the rose, as they say. So we've got a problem there. And I'll tell you where else we've got a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling you this for 3 years, and all of a sudden now people starting to come around to my world. By the way, Mike in Houston, the great Mike Silvers, I saw your comment on The Athletic today where you said sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And I said, I know exactly who that is. And I knew it was you. Well, of course, your name on there is Michael S., so it wasn't hard to figure out. Keandre Miller, folks, not good. Not good.
Oh, no.
I am
we got a
sick and tired. Sick and tired of seeing this guy out of position. Last night, he goes down, he blocks a shot, and he just gets up and he stands there. And what did the Canucks do? The Canucks scored a goal right in front of him while he's standing there spectating.
The team was fucking spectating last night.
Not good. He's not good.
Stop.
Not good. We traded up for this guy. We got to have him. This Keandre Miller is a prime example. He ranks up there. Vitaly Kravtsov, Dylan McIlrath, smartest guy in the room syndrome. Nobody knows what we know about Keandre Miller. We're going to trade up. We're going to get this guy. So what if he's only learned how to play defense 3 weeks ago? He can skate. He's tall. He's big. He's bald. Who cares? Nobody knows what we know. We are the Rangers. We are so smart. He stinks.
Please.
Stinks. He stinks. And the fans are starting to come around into my little circle. Into my circle. They see he's not good. He's not good. He's getting second defensive pairing minutes. He's not good. Trouba is doing poor Jacob Trouba. Our captain,
here we go.
Our captain is doing the work. He's like a pack mule back there doing the work of two defensemen while this lunkhead drags down my team.
Oh, please.
Enough.
The whole defense stinks lately.
Enough.
You know who stinks the most?
Go into. Listen to me. Listen to me.
All
Do
right.
you have NHL 23 at home? You have it on your console. You got it on the Xbox. You got it on the PS5. You got it on your Atari. You got it on your Magnavox Odyssey. Go into your Magnavox toy. Go into your NHL 23. Go into your roster. You click, push the A button on Keandre Miller's name, and then when the drop-down window, add to trading block. I'm done. I'm done. Smartest team in the room. I want him gone. I am sick and
After
tired
1 day,
of watching lazy defense.
Lazy?
Lazy. He is lazy.
No.
He is Bill Haley and the Coasters.
Fritz got it right.
Keandre Roosevelt.
All right. You want me to do it? I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it.
Chris the Meat, 4th season. He has not improved.
He's got 7 goals.
Oh, so what?
What?
He
So what?
stinks. He's a defenseman. Defenseman. He stinks on defense. Then move him to the wing.
Who stinks? And I'm going to say it. Igor Shesterkin. A 904 save? Are you kidding me?
Not good. But the defense is not doing him any favors.
Keandre Millers of the world.
Keandre Miller stinks.
Let me tell you, this is where he is right now. This is where he is. First of all, you can't win with a starting goalie with a 904 save. He's along the guys that are alongside him in this are Ricardo Montalban, who beat us the other night with a 906. Yeah, Samuel Urson on Philadelphia, Peter Mrazek, who gave us fits, although we did beat Chicago. John Gibson, who he's a good goalie, but he's on a terrible team. 903, Philip Gustafson, Piotr Kochetkov on Carolina, UC Saros, all these guys that are bums this year. You cannot win with a goalie with 904 save. Guy never gets a shutout. He was outplayed last night by Thatcher Demko. Now, granted, those goals that they got were some beauties. That Pedersen goal was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
But I look at the shots on goal, and it's 15, and we're down 4-1. That can't happen.
I'm not disagreeing with you one bit. Igor has not been good, and Quick has not been as good lately.
No, I knew that was going to fall. That
bound to happen. That's why he's the backup.
Somebody said it in the chat room earlier. Now, I know I'm getting a little defensive of Keandre, and that's why I'm bringing this up. And
that's why you're standing up.
I'm standing up. And here's the deal. Now I forgot where I was. With the chat. He's a low-key head case. I believe he's a low-key head case.
Igor?
First period. What?
You're talking about Igor as a first-class head case?
He's a low-key head case.
I would absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
I'm not saying, what was that guy? Ilya Brizgalov. Who was that guy? Was the spaceman, not Brizgalov.
Brizgalov. Yeah.
This guy.
He was nuts.
This guy gets crushed when goals go in. I mean, and then he's got to make sure he makes some good saves in the second period to get back into it. Dude, you got to, ever since he had that kid, I blame that kid for ruining him. Because I feel like he doesn't have confidence. When he gets scored upon and when they come quick, no pun intended, when they come quick and fast, which seems to happen a lot lately, which drives me fucking nuts. And late. That late period goal when Vancouver made it 3-1, game over, game, set, match. You could have turned it off then.
Well, we got 3 problems with the goaltending. You got early goals in the periods in the game, early goals, late goals in the period, and these goals that come in bunches. We're up 1-0, then all of a sudden we're down 3-1. You don't even have time to go take a shit, and you miss 3 goals. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I think he's...
yes, the Rangers need to stop procreating.
Right.
No glove, no love.
That's right.
That's the new team motto. I don't want to hear no quit New York. I want to hear no glove, no love.
I I have to say, yes, they're very disheartening, these bunch goals for the fan. I'm getting so aggravated by this that I'm just cursing. I'm just cursing. And yes, I think it has a lot to do with the goals, the defense. I think the defense is porous. Am I going to put it all on Keandre Miller? Braden Schneider stinks. Philip Gustafson's not playing well right now, right?
Eric.
I mean,
Eric Gustafson.
Philip Gustafson. Where'd I get that? Eric Gustafson not playing well.
Oh,
But let's now again, Laviolette, fix it. What's going on?
That's 2 out of your 6 defensemen that aren't playing well. And I'll give you, Adam Fox has not been the same player since he came back from injury. I know he scored a goal the other night, but he hasn't been the same player either.
Not a 5-on-5.
So either he's not healthy or he needs a couple of games off for his headspace. The whole fucking defense needs games off for its headspace. And the goaltender. I mean, when this team just came off a bye week 3 weeks ago? What, they need another one? When's the All-Star break? I mean, come on. They spent, they roll in the New Year's, thumping their chest, the best team in the league. They haven't played like it in weeks.
I haven't. I'm getting worried.
Even that Chicago game. Chicago had no business being in that game. That game should have been over before they finished the anthem. But Chicago stinks.
They're bad.
They are on the express train for a second lottery pick in a row. And the Rangers let them hang around in that game until what? The third period, right? The Rangers came out and got 2 early goals. They had no business playing hockey with the Blackhawks. They stink.
I know, but you can't beat
Connor Bedard and a bunch of 50-year-old men on that team. And that was Mrazek, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he was still in the league. Didn't he play with Doug Sotart? I mean, Peter Mrazek, he's played for 32 teams, including the Cleveland Barons. That's where I got 32 from, because he never played for the Rangers. Guy was a Minnesota North Star.
Elvis Merzlikins, better save than Nico.
I mean, there's just I get all this, and I'm not here to preach the sky is falling, and I'm not one of these panic people, but I'm seeing a lot of things I don't like. And I understand this team's position in the league right now. They're still leading the league in wins. They're still comfortably in first place with 2 games at hand. But I'm telling you, the train's coming.
Well, I hope not, John. But I would say, and I'm going to bring it back to normal tones and sitting down chat. I feel that for the first time this year, I feel worried. I feel concerned about the whole team dynamic. I feel like it's now. I think a lot of it has to do rationally. These teams are coming out and giving the Rangers their best because they are number one in the league. I don't know if they still are. Vancouver, this was a big game for them, but the thing is, Vancouver's guys came out. Rangers got to get 5-on-5 straightened out. The Rangers got off on a power play goal last night. Goalie lost his stick too on the play, but whatever. And Panarin's been phenomenal. That second line has been phenomenal. But right now, the first line, Blake Wheeler, to me, if you're going to go and just bury Keandre Miller, you should put him in the same grave.
Buried.
But Blake Wheeler stinks.
I just did 5 minutes on him.
I know.
That experiment has got to end. He barely belongs on the fourth line. Barely. And we got too many fourth liners right now.
Right. We do. The third and fourth line are fourth liners. It's interchangeable. I don't know.
And we don't know when Tyler Potluck's coming back. We don't know what's up
What does
with
he mean
Filipino.
anyway? I mean, I like the way he was playing. He's not scoring. He wasn't in goals.
No, but it just puts
I feel
guys
like
out of
we're
puts
too
guys out of
top
position.
heavy.
It juggles the line. It moves things around. Capo Caco skated today. He's been upgraded from a red jersey to a yellow. Let me finish. To a yellow jersey.
I just wanted. Okay. Go.
From what I understand, he is participating in all drills, non-contact. So his return could be very soon. That will help. I don't care what you think about Capo Caco, but you can't tell me he is not a better option on the second or first line than Blake Wheeler or Johnny Brodzinski. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to subscribe to your interpretations. So let's get him back. Somebody get on the phone with Filipino. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
Are your eggs still scrambled? Fine. Take the year off. We'll see you in camp. And if not, well, God bless and good luck. And we hope you're feeling better. But we can't wait forever. Right now they are at 51 points, which means they are going to be in position for if things hold up, they are going to be one of the higher seeds in the Eastern Conference, which means they are by default a cup contender. Moves are going to have to be made. We can't wait around on Filipino. We can't wait around on his cap space. We gotta make a plan. We gotta move forward.
Now, I know people that root for other teams are watching this and saying, "Look at these guys. They're on top of the world, and all of a sudden they're panicking. The sky is falling." Let me tell you something. These people in this chat room and these two men in front of you, we see the trends before anybody. Right. You'll read about this in Larry Brooks's articles, just like
it'll all be tomorrow.
It'll all be tomorrow. We're ahead of the game. I mean, this is what's happening with the Rangers. The Rangers are a disjointed team right now. I feel like there's no cohesiveness. The defense is getting beat. I mean,
there she is, the birthday girl.
Passes that turn into 2-on-1s. And then the other guys, I mean, he passed the other guy, and I can't rely on Igor to make a save anymore. It's always in the net. And I got to worry about his psyche after he gives up the goal. It's the defense's fault. It's the goalie's fault. There's these breakdowns that are just, I mean, is it a slump? Is it some kind of, we're not going to do, I feel like the Rangers are reaching too much. And when I mean that, they're always looking to poke and do this. And that's Keandre's, his biggest thing, is he's always with the stick. And then he has to rely on the stick to bail him out. Where, you got to take the body a little bit. And he does get, and I'll admit this, he's capable of the brain fart, like, more than any Ranger defenseman.
Soft and stupid.
Stop.
Move along. Trade him.
Well, what about Braden Schneider? He stinks too. And I don't think Ryan Lindgren is all that great either.
I can live with Braden Schneider on the third line, on the third pairing.
Yeah, well,
but they got to get somebody else in there.
Well, they probably get a lot more for Keandre Miller.
Exactly. We can get a forward. We can get a productive forward for Keandre Miller.
Well, what do you want to? They're a team of nice guys. What do you want? You want mean guys? What do you want? I mean, the Rangers have elevated themselves to look where they are in the standings. I mean, this can be fixed.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you how to fix it. Get Wheeler off the first line, trade Keandre Miller, and send Johnny Brodzinski one way back to Hartford for starters. That's your three starters right there. Those are the first three things on my PowerPoint presentation.
Chris, I see what you're saying, and I understand the money thing. 3.85 for a defenseman, a second pairing defenseman,
who stinks.
No.
Stinks.
You have gone. We've been doing this show for years. 1 year, you're like, he stinks. The next year, you're like, okay, maybe I was wrong about this guy. Right
I've been
now,
saying
he's not
for years
playing
he
well.
stinks. 4 years. How long are we going to wait? How
Well,
long I got to wait?
He's got a pace for 14 goals. I mean, I don't understand.
He's not here to score goals. He's here to play defense. I don't care if he scores goals.
What is this?
Stop giving up goals.
Okay. Well, bring back Carol Vadnais.
Yes.
And bring back Don Orey. And bring out all these guys who can't move the puck and can't score. There's a different era.
He stinks.
Robertson, he's never going to play, Ryan. You know that. He knows that. The American people know that. Bob Dole knows that. The whole bit.
Matt Robertson should be up with this team.
Just because you like him.
I don't like him. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't like Keandre Miller because he stinks. He stinks. Stinkus.
Okay, all right.
Get me Corey Potter.
I feel like it's a whole team. The team vibe to me sucks right now.
He's on his third coach, and he still can't play defense, and he's still lazy, and he's still soft.
Oh, God.
Soft, lazy, stupid.
Now, Peter Laviolette, who he doesn't recognize this.
Even he can't get through to this guy.
Oh, please. I'm sure.
Morgan Freeman and Lean on Me couldn't get through to this guy.
Oh, come on now.
Herb Brooks couldn't get through to this guy. It's enough.
Yeah, bring
up the mats. We'll call it the mat
Mr.
line.
Robertson.
Doormats.
Doormats. Doormats Robinson.
Matt Rempe and Matt Robertson. Could you imagine if they called the two of them up? I'd be in my glory.
I know.
I might need a season
Robertson,
ticket plan.
How many coaches is he not going to be brought up by? I think Tom Rennie didn't bring him up. All right.
The Wolfpack are here Friday night, by the way. I am hoping I'm hoping things can work out and Jen and I can go to the game. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Keenan couldn't get through to this guy. Oh, Keenan would have given up on this kid 3 years ago.
Oh, he wouldn't have made it out of practice.
Would have traded him for Jay Wells. Done.
Yeah, you know what? He said he was done with this guy 3 years
ago. Listen to my broad. She's telling you what's up.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know nothing about you.
She knows me better than anybody on the planet.
Ah, come on. I seen it right here on the show. You're like, he stinks. He's terrible.
He does. He stinks.
And then you're like, maybe I was wrong.
Keandre Roosevelt.
You're just trying to listen. Don't take your anger. DeAndre Miller. Oh my God.
DeAndre. He stinks. Nope. Sorry.
I agree with it. He is inconsistent. At times he looks
lazy.
Hey, listen, I'm not representing Keandre Miller in this kangaroo court. Okay? So don't talk about him. I'm not
coming off like Keandre Miller's defense attorney here.
I know. I'm feeling like being attacked. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong right now. And you can't. That's why if the Rangers can get to the deadline and start, this is what it was when we came into the season. We knew we had a bunch of cast-offs, and now they're starting to play like them. I mean, we're sitting here and waxing poetic about, I can't wait to get Tyler Pitlick back. I mean, really? I mean, did you think we'd ever say that?
I'm just saying, there's another guy missing from the lineup. That's all.
And I don't know what he sees in Johnny Brodzinski.
I don't get it. But I can't keep harping on Johnny Brodzinski because it's just, how much can I say? I say the same thing every week. There's a reason why this guy's is 30 years old. He's played 100 NHL games. There's a reason for that.
Keandre Ozolish. That's good.
Even
I'll admit that's good.
Keandre Ozolish. Eddie is Miller's Atticus Finch.
Hey, I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Every time he touches the puck, I get nervous. He's a nightmare.
That's your problem.
Well, right. That's my problem.
The coach doesn't get nervous. The NHL coach doesn't get nervous.
Oh, I bet he does. You just can't tell by his expression because it's always the same.
It's always the same.
It's always the same. Darth Vader had more facial expressions than this guy does.
I think Mario can sing.
Mario, that's exactly what I said just a few minutes ago. Fox has not been good since he came back from his injury.
All
Bye,
right,
Tanner.
bye, Tanner.
Go play Fortnite.
They still play that, kids?
Oh, she's deadly at Fortnite.
Yeah, but the game's been around like 10 years.
Yeah, it's still popular.
Wow.
She plays all the time.
I feel like I mean, when the Rangers are losing, doesn't everything annoy you? Like now I can't stand the bro-love between Zibanejad and Kreider. That whole fucking thing. Like I used to love it when they were winning, and now I'm like, look at these two assholes hugging each other. And then last night with the announcing, when they're losing like that, and I got to hear every woe is me with Vancouver. Brock Besser's dad finally died of cancer. Now he's a good hockey player. Score!
2-year battle, Curly Joe Besser.
I mean, come on. Why bring that up? How do they know that? They don't know anything about the Rangers, but they know the fucking family history of the other team.
They talked about JT Miller more last night than they did when JT Miller played for the Rangers.
Exactly. Just double the annoyance. We sound like Yankee fans. Wow. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess it's bad. I'm not a Yankee fan.
I don't care.
It's just right now, it's rough to watch. And in the goals that Igor gave up, I'll say last night, there were 2 goals that were spectacular goals.
Yes, there
the
were.
Rangers are out of position defensively, and you could pick a Ranger defenseman. They're just not, they're not where they should be, and everything goes in. Oh, Don LaGreca, what do you defend? Apparently, Don LaGreca has on his podcast defended Sam and Joe. What else is he going to do? Say how bad they are?
Right.
So, anyway,
you're not going to hear anybody who collects a paycheck from MSG Network say anything bad about either one of them ever.
Well, yeah, I think I'm watching Roxas. Yeah, I think definitely you got to replace Wheeler. Gustafson is struggling right now. And then they put him with Fox last night. What was that all about?
Oh, he was mixing everything up last night. It was
the Tom Rennie line generator.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was juggling everything. I mean, Lafreniere was out there with Zibanejad and Kreider for a while. Lafreniere was out there, on his normal line. Then he moved Panarin up with Zibanejad and Kreider for a while. He was moving like I said, that second line they were on the ice all the time. Take care, Pat. So
I don't know. It just, you can't subsist on that one line. And the second line's the first line's not bad either. I mean, they get their goals. Zibanejad got off to a slow start. He gets the points. Kreider had a lot of shots, but I think you told me before the show that Zibanejad had no shots on goal last night.
None. Not a one. Nay.
And
23 minutes of ice time, not one shot.
Gallant should still be killed. He's the worst. He was the worst. No adjustments, Gerard. Sorry. You're going to measure it up. Oh, how many goals? Because you read an article, The Rock, that they compared it. Had Gerard Chuckles, Gallant smiling. Yeah, Gallant. Sucks. He's terrible. Gets kicked out of every place with coaches. They're in a rough stretch right now. Let's not eat our own here. Let's not turn on each other.
We're all we've got.
Sean's got a good one there. They're calling the 911 on the 131. And Laffy is Oh, please, just stop. You also said Vincent Trocheck stunk, and it was a lateral move, him and Ryan Strome. So don't you right now, please. Don't tell me about you called it, they called it. I hate that.
And he's turning on everybody. I love
I'm
it.
just saying. I mean, everybody said I called it. What? They're 9-7 in the last 16, and all of a sudden you're pining for Gerard Gallant or whatever they are. Get the fuck out of here. They lost to the Devils. There was no plan. Up. I did all I could. I'm out of here. Okay,
Right.
Fred.
I've done my job.
Get that fucking bald-headed bastard. I hated him. Gerard Gallant's the answer. Right now, we're in a rough patch, guys. I'm sorry for getting a little vocal, but I just,
He's going to stand up again in a minute.
Come on. It's dark times. Listen. Yeah, we got to slow down, Ryan said. Dancing Larry Brooks, he's got to get all these notes down. I think it's a team vibe right now.
Larry's got 3 transcribers working on the show right now. For those of you that maybe didn't hear the show last week, Eddie and I played the press conference from Peter Laviolette last week, where Larry Brooks asked him if he thought it was an issue with these losses that the Rangers have had, these 5-1 losses where they seem to get beat so badly. And Peter Laviolette said that, they've lost 10 games, that he didn't think it was that abnormal to lose a couple of games 5-1. So Eddie and I went back and compared Laviolette's first season to the first 10 losses of the Gerard Gallant era, and then the first 10 losses of the Alain Vigneault era. And the very next day in Larry Brooks' column, he did the exact same thing, comparing the first 10 losses of the Gerard Gallant era. The exact same thing. So,
right.
We've long suspected that Larry Brooks is a listener of this show and gets some ideas.
Bless you, Larry.
Right. If he writes an article tomorrow about Keandre Miller stinking, then I want royalties.
The Rangers moved up to get him and the whole thing.
Right. I want royalties.
Yeah.
Smartest guy in the room. Hey, look, I like Larry Brooks. I'm one of the few people that do.
Well, yeah, I like him too. I mean, at least he asked a tough question. These other mamby-pamby beat writers, they answer softball questions. I mean, they ask.
Do you think that Igor changing his skate laces had anything to do with the way he played last night?
Nah, see, that is a perfect question, but that wouldn't be the volume it'd be. Do you think that Igor would be better if he had a different stick? It's got to be something like totally badly mic'd, and it's sponsored by somebody.
Right.
Who would want to be a sponsor for that whatever those vegan bites they have or whatever this? If you can't even hear the show, what are they putting into the show to sponsor?
Sean, wait. Sean says Brooks is going to be writing his column while standing up for the first 10 minutes. Larry's at a stand-up desk at home watching the show.
Why am I doing this like they actually write it? Like you'd be like,
he's got one of those court stenographers on that thing with the
and
take it shorthand.
Touch me is right. Diane is right. They're a $1 billion team in the media conglomerate, other than in Hollywood. They're in New York City, and they can't make these fucking these dumbass reporters. It's ridiculous.
All you can do is put 3 microphones in the room, and you'll hear everything.
So, Blake Wheeler, you get what you pay for, Chris. That's what they got. And I don't think I know right now, as the Atticus Finch of Keandre Miller, 3.8 isn't a lot of money. So get Artem Anisimov up here, quick.
Bring him up.
Bring him up.
Bring him up. Nobody's panicking. Why do Chef? I love
angry.
you. Chef, I love you. But why do people always interpret when criticism with panic? I'm not panicking. I fully realize their position in the league, their position in the standings. I'm just saying that there are flaws on this team. I said it last year, and everybody said, you're panicking. Look at them. Look at them. And then guess what? They were done in 7 fucking games against the Devils in the first round. I told you last year there were flaws with this team. Everybody said, you're panicking. You're panicking. Penny, the sky is falling. We lost 2 games. Well, guess what? We lost 4 fucking games right to the Devils because there were flaws on the team. And they were badly coached. I'm not always wrong up here.
You're right a lot.
Keandre Miller stinks.
Well, you're wrong on that. You just
stinks.
You're from an emotional.
It looks good in the suit, though. We got to wear it more often. Watching the games from the press box.
What about
see John Riggs? And John Riggs is so in tune with this program. This is how in tune he is. No red alert alarm in the intro, no panic. And you know what? I even thought to myself, I consciously thought, don't play the red alert during the intro because we're not there. We're not there. I'm just telling you, there are flaws with this team. John Riggs knows how this works, though. He gets it.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Rob's comment. He's driving me nuts. Flaws of the teams that weren't addressed. They had $8 to work with in the offseason.
Who?
And for the first 30 games, everything Drury did was great. Tyler Potluck was good. We was the Gus Bus. We gave him a nickname. He was so good. What a job he did for Bach. Blake Wheeler, okay, he kind of sucked, but then he got a little bit better. So I don't understand that the Rangers didn't have really any moves. It's basically keep the ship afloat the way I came into the season until the trading deadline, and let's get the rentals. So the fact that they're contending for the best team in the league at this point. I mean, Chris Drury, we were talking about Peter Laviolette as coach of the year, and Drury brought him in. Now, what I want to see from Laviolette now is, Jim, is Blake Wheeler going to sit? Is he going to make guys more accountable? What I saw in that last game was panic. Panarin every shift. It seemed like he was out there the entire game. Now, he's been hot, but this guy is a system guy, played a system. I feel like the Rangers have lost their will to win puck battles and to put an effort in. I don't know if they're just getting outworked because these teams are coming in and treating the Rangers like a real team, like a real top contender. And I agree. Costa just messaged me. Says Wheeler needs to ride the pine. People got to start being accountable. I want players accountable. So I agree. I mean, listen. I know I'm not panicking. I'm very upset. Okay, that's why I'm standing up. I'm upset.
They've lost 4 out of 6. Did not play particularly well against Chicago, in my opinion.
And they lost in a shootout to the Canadiens.
I'm not as upset about that because, I don't know, just going up to Montreal, I don't know.
Come on, the bloom is off the rose with Jonathan Quick. I just – and then this is another thing that puzzled me with Laviolette. Laviolette. Oh, wow. I'm in a 3-way chat with these. Because anyway, here's the thing. Is that why did he put Lafreniere as the 3rd choice in that shootout? Why? Can you get inside his head? Lafreniere has played very well lately.
Yeah.
He has. But he can't score.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe, emotional thing. It's in Montreal. He's got the family there. Maybe he's just figuring, He'll get a spark out of the
Man.
guy. I don't know. By the way, Jonathan Quick has lost 3 in a row and given up four goals in 2 of those games. He's lost 3 in a row, including the shootout loss. So,
I don't understand. I don't understand. There's just a lot of things. I'm not in the first time this year I'm in this territory where I don't understand, and I'm frightened, folks.
frightened. He needs a hug.
I am, because I feel like now I don't know anything. I had the Rangers kind of pegged, and everybody's roles, and now, and now I'm worried. Like Jim said, you know, when the Gus bus, I said, "Wow, what a great pickup!" And now he looks, you know, pedestrian, and Schneider is struggling, who are hoping to make a step. And some people think Keandre Miller is not playing very well, and
Stinks.
And Adam Fox is not playing well after the injury. These are the defense I never really was ever worried about. I have to say, in the last, even under Gallant, those guys took care of business pretty much. But now I feel like, is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. And the goals in the bunches, I don't understand this. I feel like when they get a goal against, they should call a timeout and have to fucking talk about it.
Right.
Listen,
let's make sure we don't do it again.
Yeah. Can you give me 10 minutes before you let another goal in? Because it is it's concerning. And you guys know, as a fan, I'm throwing shit. I'm like, fuck, another goal. And I threw the penny saver across the fucking room the other night. I was reading there trying to get a bargain, and all of a sudden, it's a fucking toss it. Go fuck yourselves.
1 minute you're looking at a 1999 oil change, and it goes flying across the room.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm running out of things to throw. My wife's hiding things before the games. Oh God! I mean,
I'm not at all panicking, but I'm. Just
you're panicking.
I'm not panicking.
Just like you used to get on Lundqvist. You remember that? He used to pile on Lundqvist. That was another one that he used to always say to you. He's not good.
I would call him out when he didn't play well. Just like I call anybody else out. He's not above criticism.
Now, Rock, put this one up by Rock. This is a good point, I have to say.
Well, yeah, I think we talked about this last week. It was just less. It was less
ridiculous.
It was less than 8 last week. Now it's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. That's got to be corrected. And
Rock, 8 times this team has given up multiple goals in a minute or less, right? Against Montreal the other night, they gave up 2 goals in a minute and 30 seconds. They waited a whole extra 30 seconds.
30 seconds they gave us. Gotta stop. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to explain it away.
Last night they gave up 2 goals. They gave up 2 goals in the first period in 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And then in the second period, 2 goals in a minute and 14 seconds.
Jim is right to panic.
So I'd love to see that stat reworked to how many times they've given up 2 goals in 2 airs. Oh, thank you, Sean. Look, Sean coming right at me here with this. 11 goals allowed within 2 minutes or less. 11 times. 11 times.
How many?
11.
11. How many games have they played?
36.
That's a fucking high percentage.
A third of the time you're giving up goals in bunches like that? Come on, that's not acceptable.
Yep.
We are in this. We're into 2024 now. The playoffs are 3 months away. These are things that need to be fixed, and they need to be corrected.
And if you want to read about it, go to the New York Post. Larry Brooks will have it in the
www.nypost.com/sports/Rangers.
He's right now. He just copied and pasted what Sean said.
Chef, I get it. And there were times last year where they had the most points in the East. But guess what? Doesn't matter.
Well, you know what it is. And
nice Clerks reference.
Yes. In a row? It's concerning. And you're doing it with supposedly the best goalie in the league.
Oh, I like Eurotrash coming in with a conspiracy theory.
What do you come in with?
Sean is Larry Brooks.
Sean, this is like to tell the truth. Will the fake Larry Brooks please stand up? Wow. I don't understand. I mean, Artemi Panarin I just think the bottom half of the lineup has to pitch in more with the goals. You got to have a third line. I mean, that third line is, we all know they need a legit third line center. It's a mishmash of guys who are just a tad better than the fourth line.
Right.
Bring in Messier. We need him as coach.
Oh, God.
I think it's just a bump in the road. It's not as good. It wasn't as good. Yeah, exactly.
How about Olli Jokinen for a third line center?
VZ has 7 goals playing on the fourth line. He's the only guy.
He's kind of moved between the fourth and third line, hasn't he? A little bit?
A little bit, but
I feel like the third and fourth lines have been very interchangeable parts.
Chris, the meat, I'm shaking my drink, and you know why. Use that stupid term, apples.
He's doing it to get your goat.
That's why I said when I see somebody trying to get my goat, I shake my at you. So all right. So I don't know. The team is never as good as you think they are, and they're never as bad as right now. We're in a rough, what I consider, we're ahead of the curve. We see that there's a rough patch. We're not looking at the standings and saying, look where we are. We're still because I'm worrying. I'm not worrying, but I'm concerned that this could be the start of something that could become a snowball effect where it becomes,
right.
I don't think Shesterkin has been good this year. I don't. There's been some games he has been fucking magnificent. This guy can't get a shutout for whatever reason. I don't understand.
Does seem to be rather elusive.
And again, I don't blame it on him. I don't blame those goals. There were a couple goals last night that were fantastic. But then I'm looking at these other guys, Ricardo Montalban on Montreal. He looks like a world beater. He's making like 50 saves. All these other goalies, and I just don't want to say it's always all these backup goalies. These goalies are their starters. Thatcher Demko is their starter. Now, I just, and we will never, and Jim will back this up, and you guys know it too. I am never, just because I love Igor Shesterkin, it's not like I'm not going to tell the truth about him when he's not playing well. I don't have that blind. I'm a results-oriented fan, rooting for a team that gives you no results.
Right.
So if he's not playing well, I'm going to say it. Even though I know, even when Lundqvist towards the end, he sucked. He just wasn't good anymore. I understand he's probably the greatest Ranger goalie ever played, but I live in the present. I'm just saying he's got to be better. The whole team has got to be better. Yeah, it looks like Cooley's going to play. That's the answer.
It's the answer today.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. I want accountability. If you're struggling, and if, for instance, even if Laviolette thinks Miller is struggling, ride the pine. What's the problem with benching some guys once in a while during the season? Wouldn't this become like are these guys' egos so fragile that they're going to be crushed? I don't know. So we'll see.
Would you like to take some phone calls?
Cam Talbot is doing fantastic until he gets hurt again, and then he won't be doing fantastic, Sean. Although I do like Cam Talbot, I do have some rookie cards for sale if you'd like to buy them.
Available in the lobby on your way out.
Available in the lobby. You want to invest? Put your money behind your attitude there. Yeah, fan them. I agree, Brett. I think he is. We had this debate, I think, earlier in this season that sometimes, I don't know. I think,
Brett Anderson using a great term there.
It's curtains for you, right?
Curtains.
Yeah.
It's curtains for him.
No, not that. No. Curtains, you understand?
Oh, they're adorable.
They're adorable.
The curtains.
Any Bugs Bunny reference is a good reference.
Yes.
You want to talk to some people?
Sure. I want to see what people got to say. Call up. Join the show.
So we don't have a phone number anymore. They click the link to join. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I've been trying to get in here. Every time I do, it's either I'm at work or doing something else or at home.
I like your transmission now. Did you get a new phone or something?
I did.
I was gonna say, the other phone
Merry
was
Christmas to me. Merry Christmas
Nice.
to me. I got a new phone.
I would say that last time I thought we were talking to you from Iraq during the Gulf War. Now,
Yeah, I got a Samsung S23 or some shit
well,
like
look
that.
at you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Black Friday deal. So
All right. Well, Merry Christmas to you. And what do you got? What do you got? What's your solutions? What's your takes?
Well, first things first is that I'm not panicking either. I actually had a guy I work with who is a big sports fan looked at me and said, "How about your Rangers?" I said, "Right now they're just struggling. I'm concerned. They need what they really should do is give some guys some days off, sit them down. Move some guys around in the lineup, let some other guys get a chance to play, and I would have kept Ottman up, honestly. Maybe
well,
I don't know.
Well, I think what Laviolette's evaluation was pretty good. I mean, that he did have a good first game. I think he had like 4 or 5 shots on net in that game. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they just want to give him minutes. He didn't play much up here. Now, you sure you're not panicking? Because it looks like you're calling from a panic room.
No, I'm in my car. I actually just got home from work.
Ah, okay, cool.
So
now you work for FedEx, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have a FedEx question for you.
I don't know if you
Now,
can see the
is there
logo.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Is there a difference between FedEx Ground and FedEx Mail or whatever they call it?
I hear this all the time. FedEx Ground is mostly contracted employees. FedEx Express, who I work for, I'm technically an employee of the company.
Okay. You get this question a lot, so people are bumping into you on the street. Like,
Oh yeah.
All right. I just want to know.
While working, making deliveries and whatnot. So.
Okay. Cool. So it's a tough job. All right. Now.
Can be.
So
especially in this weather today.
Oh yeah, it's like a fucking monsoon out there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the electricity hasn't gone off on this broadcast. But okay, so here we go. Just see Sean said Larry Brooks is going to be talking about FedEx Ground tomorrow.
Let's hope he quotes us properly,
Yes. Okay.
So,
This article's
I did notice, like, right on time the Carolina game and all that. I noticed that when they started getting up goals, it's like something's not right. And
I feel like
I agree with you guys. I'm sorry, Eddie. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No, I was just listening to you. No, I did feel
No,
the
just
same.
I'm totally with you guys. I think Miller sucks a bag of dicks. Excuse my French for saying that, but he's fucking.
All right.
he's-
You're entitled to your
he's
opinion.
just-
Atticus Finch will let you hear.
but I don't know who you replace him with. Honestly,
Matt
I don't know.
Robinson. I think
Robertson's
you got
ready.
the
I don't know. Zach Jones. Zach Jones is about as thin as my wife, but
I know that Zach Jones is not the answer.
No. So I do have a question.
It can't be
to
any
you
worse.
guys.
Don't tell me it can't be any worse than Keandre Miller. All right, go ahead, Mike. What's the question?
Do you think they make the phone call up north to Ottawa and see what it takes to get Tarasenko back?
I think Tarasenko would be perfect for this team, and I probably wait to the trading deadline. I think
at the deadline.
At the deadline, I mean, what does he only have a 1-year contract? I think up there. Maybe no, maybe
Something
he has
like
more.
that, yeah.
No, he has.
I think it's a 1-year deal.
It is a 1-year deal.
He has a 1-year deal. I like Vladimir Tarasenko. They need to make moves at the.
And they're going to. They're going to. They're not going to sit like they are now. They're going to make moves. They're going to do something. And I really do think Laviolette's going to get this team back in shape. Sooner the better, of course. So
I have
got to
faith
give it
in
a little
Laviolette.
time. Like I said, I do too, Jim. But I really do think that maybe some guys should take a seat for a game or two, a couple of games, let them regroup, maybe watch it from upstairs and be like, okay, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, I see this, I see that. It's not, it doesn't hurt. I mean, they got thank God they won those games early in the year. They banked those points, so now they
right. They got a
they're
little
in
bit of
good
cushion to get to regroup here. But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just like the holidays and all this bullshit. The games are broken up. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I know this team is better than they've been playing. They're never never as good as you think they are, and they're never as bad as you think they are.
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh my God!
Unless your name's Keandre Miller, then
He's
you're on
as
Jim's
bad as
shit
I-
list.
He's absolutely as bad as I think he is.
Yeah.
He's worse.
Guys, I was wondering if I can ask a favor.
Sure.
I was
I'm
wondering
not
if I can make a
delivering any
little
packages in
statement
this
to the
rain. I
people
can tell you that
listening.
much. What's the favor?
No. I just want to say something to the people listening, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I lost my mom in August to unexpectedly, and I posted some things out there to that, and I got a lot of good compliments back, a lot of good comments back, and I just want to take the time to say to everyone, thank you for the kind words and all that, especially you two guys. I know you guys both said something to me as well. I just wanted to come out and say it myself, just instead of a stupid post. So I appreciate the moment to say it to everybody.
Well, we're a tight community. We take.
It's
care
very
of our-
unexpected, but also at the same. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I think.
So I did say the other day that I was plans in the works to get up to the viewing party next time.
Oh, that'll be
And
great.
I might bring some friends as well if it
That's
happens.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think
So as of right now, plans are in motion to get there.
Nice.
So.
And I was just gonna say that losing your mom is so tough. Both me and Jim have lost our mothers, and I think early, as far as their age. How old was your mom?
And 70. She was passed away a couple weeks before her 73rd birthday.
Yeah. So me and him, we definitely can relate to it. Oh, now
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second, guys. There we go.
Oh.
Calling in.
Okay. Well,
All right.
Mike,
Sorry,
our
guys.
condolences again, and I'm
All right.
glad that the group
Thank
came
you.
out.
I didn't want that to be. I didn't want that to be like that. I just wanted to take the
Oh,
moment
I know.
to say to everyone
No problem.
to thank everybody. So
All right, be
I'll let you
careful on
guys
the
be
radio.
because my wife is look. Yeah, my wife is looking for me right now.
Oh, he called it, Jim. He called it.
Race in the house.
No, she texted me. Are you okay? Because she's
Are you-
worried about the weather and all.
He's outside having a meltdown. He can't come in. All right. We'll talk
All
to you
right.
soon. Take care.
Mike.
Yeah.
Good night.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye.
Good night.
You talking those two schlemiels for that podcast?
Oh, man.
Oh man. All right. Let's talk to Costa. There he is. What's up?
Hey.
Let me ask first question. Of all the cheap who's been the best of all the from the bargain basement bin? We say Benino? Oh shit.
What are you gonna do? What's going on there? Santa Claus with a reindeer outside? What's going on? Ah, yes. So how's things at that photo mat you're working at in there?
Yes, Benino. I would say Benino.
But I think he's getting exposed now. Would you say that?
Wow.
Benino or Quick. No, I think Benino's been fine. They didn't bring Benino here to score goals. And I think what he the other things that he's brought to the team have been
block shots,
unquestionably.
Yeah, but as a 3C,
Well, yeah, but he wasn't brought here to be a 3C. He was brought here to be the 4C. Right. So
yeah, I mean, you could do
it's
better.
not his fault. It's not his fault. Filipinos made of
glass.
butter.
Mr. Glass over there.
He has so much glass in his house, should be a chandelier. You know.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal. I don't know.
I'm not panicking. I mean.
Oh, you're panicking.
No, I'm
not. Panicking. You're panicking.
How do you figure?
Oh, you're not panicking. I know you're not panicking.
I was upset with the Chicago game.
Yeah.
I almost flipped my fucking desk, man.
I saw you.
How do you play like that with against those bums?
What? Jared Tenorti fighting Blake Wheeler? That didn't get you. Jared Tenorti, I saw in the Wolfpack like 2 years ago, and he's playing with an NHL team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw you on the internet's going, you're going to pay for my new TV. When it went down to nothing or something. And I knew exactly what you meant because, you don't want to get violent. You might as well turn the game off.
Exactly.
I thought Gustafsson was a great pickup until like the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, he's getting exposed now. Why do you think he's gonna? What do you think he's on? Is he like a lunkhead dude like Keandre?
You know not to ask me that question. I am the last defender of Keandre Miller, I think, left on earth. I don't know. Maybe he's just he's slumping. I don't know. I mean, guy, he's played. He's done everything they've asked him to do. It just might be a slump, or maybe this is why he's never been a first pairing defenseman or a second pairing defenseman predominantly in his career. He's an offense.
He did well. He did well as Fox's understudy.
He did. He did. But I don't know. I don't know exactly. But I disagree with Rock saying, and I think you even mentioned it in the chat, they strapped cap-wise. I don't know what you could have done in the offseason.
They're in cap hell.
They're in cap hell. They had barely any money to work with, and 2 weeks
because they're
ago,
paying marginal defensemen $4 million.
But you're also paying a guy who should be making $6 million, $8 million, or $5 million for that matter. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I want to know.
Number 8 on your thing, number 1 on your hearts. You know what I'm saying? Number 8.
Oh, please. You're going to attack Trouba now? How dare
No. I'm saying, but let's be honest.
You got overpaid.
Is Trouba worth $8 million per?
For me, he is. I ain't paying him. See, show me that highlight reel of hits, and I'll be going. Just the fact that Joey Wagner there is like,
can you believe this goon?
He does it again.
He does it. Oh, mercy me!
Shut up.
Worth $8
Like
million.
I said, this is probably the same guy who had no problem with friggin' what's his name when he was gooning it up? Matt Cook when he was gooning it up.
Yeah, Matt Cook. Cook, one of the fucking most notorious goons in the whole world. Yeah,
but because he was on Pittsburgh,
you know what?
Get out of here.
Next, these Ranger fans will be coming after Trouba with saying he's not a good leader. He's not a good captain. That'll be the next thing. That'll be the next thing.
Trouba needs to get in the locker room and start breaking sticks. And breaking fucking tablets, too.
Jimmy Mack. You are my man. You get it, Jimmy Mack. Finally.
Please. Miller
Finally,
stinks.
man with some sense.
He stinks. Miller stinks. Lazy, dumb.
No.
Lazy, dumb.
Wrong.
Third best D-man. Get out of here.
Jimmy Mack.
Third best D-man.
Man after my own heart there.
Hey, we can get some good fish nagels for that guy, I'll tell you that.
No, I think he's very he would appeal to a lot of teams.
My wish list, my trade deadline wish list, Senko and Monahan. That's my wish list.
Sean Monahan?
Yes, sir.
Not again with Sean Monahan. He keeps creeping up in this show. Why are you all about Sean Monahan? What's his stats look like?
He'd
got a better save than Igor?
And he'd be the perfect 3C or 3C, I think.
Elias Lindholm, Chef is talking about.
Oh God, Lindholm. If you get you're going all in. If you're getting Lindholm, and you got to give up a lot of shit for that guy, and as you know, Rock just doesn't like giving up first rounders for fucking rentals.
I also believe that Blaine Harms is another man who's joining Atticus Finch's defense team. He's a Miller believer. We'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. Uh-oh, Rock wants to join the chat. I'm a little scared here. I kind of went out with
it. Buckle up.
I got to stand up for this. I got to stand up for this.
But I love Rock. I love Rock.
Oh,
no homo, of course. No homo, of course.
About
because let me just say this in closing. Rock and Sean, they have a great show,
right?
And I think they're a little more serious.
What?
The Ranger Talk. You guys do a little bit of the humor, a little bit of the satire, but still good,
Oh, thanks. Yeah. What are you, the Nielsen ratings? Get the fuck out of here. Shut them off. What are you, both Siskel and Ebert? Get the fuck off. How are you critiquing on our show? Yeah, we have a little fun over there. I think they have fun too. But I'm not. I just don't. This is what it used to happen. There would be heated arguments about the Rangers at the old Garden, and you're still friends.
You'll take Key over Lindgren? Get out of here.
Oh, definitely.
Key over Lindgren. Get out of here.
Come on. You people buy into this heart and soul bullshit. And you know what? It doesn't add up in the end. It doesn't add up in the end. These guys always get hurt. They have targets on their back. Their careers are shortened. I like it, but I'm not.
I'll say this. Do not pay this guy like you paid. What's his name? That's insanity.
DeAndre Miller will play forever because he never hits anybody.
Oh, but
like fucking what's his name? Jen's favorite player. Don't sign that guy like friggin' what's his name? What's his name?
Who's Jim's favorite player?
No, Jen's favorite player.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you. You're the cap salary guy, cap guy. How much do you think would be reasonable for Lindgren to sign?
He's probably gonna get five per.
You said he's probably going to get 5 per. What do you think of that? Fine?
It's going to depend on the term.
Okay.
10 years.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Chef came in at 3. I don't think you
Dan Girardi. Don't pay him like you paid Dan Girardi. That's insanity. We should have learned our lesson with the Dan Girardi contract.
Yes, they wound up buying him out.
It's not if we learn our lesson. It's about the Rangers learning their lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
And they haven't learned any lessons.
Well, I certainly appreciate your review there. Are you going to be reviewing your Oscar picks soon? I want them all next. Golden Globes was last night.
You have any more criticism for us as long as you're here?
I mean,
do Eddie and I need to dress better? Are Sean and Rock better dressed on their show?
Yeah, I mean, really.
No.
No, I mean, I support both shows, but I support my show with my presence, which is very important. So I you got me flabbergasted here. Just shut up. Hey, what are you banning my group now? You never show up to any of the shows now? You putting a secret boycott out?
What?
On Idiot Box. We got
no.
Guys are talking. They're like, West Coast. I said, I think he's secretly boycotting us.
No.
What do Rock and Sean have a band?
Yeah. A Rock and Sean got a new band. They're more serious than on my joke band.
Oh, they got that band Stupid Cube.
Yeah.
Stupid Cube.
They're in but they're more serious, Jim. It's too funny. Stupid Cube.
All right.
Okay.
Costa, we're going to let you go.
All right.
I missed you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. We have Matt holding and we have Rock holding. I'm going to let you pick. I want to talk to Matt.
Rock. I got to get it while my energy's high.
All right. Well, I do want to talk to Matt, though, because Matt was at the game in Montreal, so I want a full report.
Okay.
So I know that's why he's here. All right. Before we get to either one of them, let's do this first while we have a captive audience and Costa. What did I do with it?
A photo lab he's calling in from. Bins.
Saturday, February 24th, viewing party time at the at McHale's in New York City. Rangers taking on the Flyers, 3:00 game. Costa might be there. I don't know.
It depends.
We're going to have raffles, giveaways, drink specials, food specials. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so we hope to see you guys then. It's going to be a fun time. If you were at the one we had in, was our last one, November, right?
Yes.
We had a great time. Rangers won, pulled off a come-from-behind victory against Nashville. We had a great time. We have a great record at our viewing parties. So we hope to see everybody there. The Facebook event is up. So if you can make it, RSVP, we appreciate it. And as always, never a cover charge to get into a BSU party.
It's free.
Right. Good luck. We have good luck when opposing fans show up. Some of us have better luck than others, but as long as the Rangers win when opposing players show up, that's all I care about.
Yes. Get it together.
All right. So, Matt, hang in there for another couple of minutes for us, and I'll just sit
There
back.
he
And,
is.
I'll just
What
sit
up?
back and let you two
Let me
talk.
stand up for this gentleman here.
Stand up.
How are you, Rock?
I'm very good, guys. Thank you. This is a treat to join you. Between the kids and everything, that's why we usually do our show at 9:30 at night. So this is a treat to join you guys tonight. An honor, as always.
Well, that time's probably better for Costa too, right?
Well, I think any time's good for him. That's fucking matters, which is good.
No
We
structure
don't
in his life.
alienate, which is perfect. Yeah, we try to take into consideration everyone's feelings.
All right, give it to me.
Well, before I want to clarify something. I never said that the whole Gallant thing. My feeling was, and just get it out there, is that they crucified this coach. They killed him. They ran him out of town. Very well so, because it was the only bullet this GM had, to be fair. And this team is doing things that they didn't do last year. They're giving up goals in bunches, and they've given up 5 or more goals, 8 times through 39 games. They still can't score 5 on 5 and still are shitty defensively. So, I mean, what's really changed? You brought back the same exact team. Did you really think that there was going to be this huge? I mean, they did. They got the boost from Gallant the first 20 games of this. From Laviolette the first 20 games of the season, and now they're coming back down to earth. I mean, it's expected. I mean, they weren't going to go on a. They were 15-3 to start the season. I didn't expect them to go, 50-9 or whatever. Whatever. I can't do the math in my head. I'm not that quick.
Well, they weren't going to be the Bruins from last year.
Crazy, but they're doing the similar things that they did last year. So what's really changed? I mean, they actually did better when Fox and Shishurki weren't in the lineup. Now, was that a combination of teams not taking them seriously because Jonathan Quick's in net? Because Louis Dominguez in net? Was it the competition? Did they catch teams at the right time? Since that Boston game, since Capo Caco got hurt, this team is 500. Since they beat the Boston Bruins 7-4, Thanksgiving weekend, this team is 500.
Yeah, I think they're 8-7-1 or something. 8-7-1, I think, without Caco.
Yeah.
Well,
so do they take their foot off the gas? Do they think, oh, well, and we've seen this team do this, and people killed me because I got mad because they let Detroit back in the game after being up by an obscene score, because they let a 3-goal lead against Minnesota evaporate and lose in a shootout. A 6-5 San Jose who stinks. That game to even be 6-5. You're supposed to be one of the elite teams in the sport, and you're allowing these shit teams to hang around every game instead of putting your foot on their throat and choking them into submission. I mean, it's going to bite you in the ass at some point. And, I got criticized for it. Oh, you're too critical. You're too negative. You're too this, too that. Well, what do I have to be positive for? I've seen one championship in friggin' 80 years. So, I mean, that's my
That's
feeling.
not enough?
God, well, that might be all we get.
Okay.
Oh, man, it's so frustrating. I mean, it's
coming into this season with Peter Laviolette
better than I thought they would.
Okay, but let me finish the question. What was your, what was your expectations of what you wanted to see from the Rangers? My expectations were, I think like most of this fan base, let's get to the playoffs and then we're going to see.
Okay.
Now, I agree with you on almost all your points, but I do not. Gerard Gallant was not a good coach. He just wasn't. He just let them go. And yes, there are problems now. But for the first 25 games or so, everybody loved them. Now, I'm glad that you were still critical. I think you're very hard to sway because of the past transgressions of this franchise. Because there's always a shoe that's going to fall down again. And we're all waiting for it. But yes, Rock has his own show. It's called what's the name of the show again? Sorry.
Two guys, one cup.
2 Guys, 1 Cup. Sorry.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
Yeah. So watch the show. But I feel like this is not. I'm not making a personal attack. I feel like you're always waiting for that shoe to drop. So
Eddie, I've
you're
never had
always
any other experience. So until it happens, I'm going to be always waiting.
I had one.
It's very hard. It's very hard for me to be any other way, because every time I give this team any type of props, any type of credit, they go on a fucking losing streak. So I might as well just be this way, because maybe that's what needs to happen. And for my own psyche and for my own mental sanity, that's what way I need to be. Because like the rest of you, 2 years ago, when they were up 2-0 against Tampa Bay, I'm looking at my schedule to see maybe the parade might be this week. I have to see. And I already planned on the parade. I ain't going to lie to you.
Wow.
For them to collapse the way they did, I was so angry at myself to allow myself to feel that feeling. So, again, this is the way I deal with it, because I feel like if I deal with it this way, then I can't be disappointed. So that's how I deal with it.
But you can never be happy.
Silly as that may sound, that's the way I handle it.
If the be all end all is to win the Stanley Cup,
of course,
you're never. But I'm saying you're never going to be happy. This franchise is not going. The odds of them winning a Stanley Cup are astronomical, as far as I'm concerned.
Eddie, then why do we follow this team if we're not hoping that they win a championship? If we're just hoping they make the playoffs, you got to be a Mets fan or an Islanders fan.
First of all, I love hockey. 2, I love the players. I like being proud of my team. Certain guys, I've said this many times. Listen, I want them to win the fucking Stanley Cup. Don't get me wrong. I want them to make moves that are in. But it seems like every team I root for is like the upper management is so dysfunctional. There's no way they're ever going to win. I mean, you got James Dolan, we got Glenn Sader, but anyway, getting away from that. If you come from the spot that something bad is always going to happen, then you're always going to be right, because things don't go majority of the time. If you think it's not going to last, or they should have done this, they should have done that, the Rangers are 99.9% going to fall short, like most franchises. There's a guy in Florida who's just, I'm not rooting for them because they're not going to. It's not going to work. And it's always going to come true because, or whatever team. There's only one team's going to win a Stanley Cup. And I just feel like this is the difference between me and you. And that's fine. But I think right now we're in a bump in the road. Now, again, 5 games from now, they still stink. They're giving up too many goals. Can Peter Laviolette fix this?
Well, that's going to be the question. I mean, like you guys said, and like Costa said, like you said, Drury had his hands tied. I think they could have possibly traded one of these young players. I think they could have possibly traded Hedel while his value was at its peak. I think they could have traded one of the younger players for another younger player somewhere along the lines. Like, again, I'm not the general manager. It's not my job to know who you should trade for, who's available, who's not. We just saw Jamie Drysdale get traded. So, and that guy was drafted 2 years ago. I mean, I'm just saying that there are moves that can be made. Is this GM willing to make a hockey trade? And there are very few
I will
GMs
agree with you
that have the balls to do that, that have the stomach to do that.
Yet not every young player has to develop. You can trade for another young player. I mean, I'm trying to think of something. Although Brassard was a little bit older than Zibanejad, I think he was actually like 4 or 5 years older. Like a trade, like a 1-for-1, where you think, oh, we'll trade Keandre Miller for, I don't know. I can't even think of a young.
I would have, Jim. I'm with you. I would have traded Miller 2 years ago.
Like
I suggested. Now, granted, I suggested trading him for Jacob Chikrin, which probably wouldn't have gone over well, but I just felt for the salary you got Chikrin for, I think the long run would have been a better signing. But listen, everyone that thinks, and my partner Sean, he is the most optimistic Ranger fan I think on this planet. I don't know if there's anybody more optimistic than him. He thinks the Rangers are one of the best teams in the sport. He said he watches a lot of games. I don't see it. I think this team is 3 moves away. I think they got to replace Wheeler. I think they need to replace Gustafsson with a big, strong tree of a defenseman. They need a redwood, as Brian Boyle said, your favorite player, Jim, said on his show, they need a big defensemen that can clear the players out of the crease to play on that third line, on that third pairing of defensemen. Gustafson's not the answer. He's been on 8 friggin' teams for a reason. He didn't play for Toronto in the playoffs last year for a defenseman team that stinks on defense. He couldn't crack the Toronto lineup because he was porous defensively. And listen, was he great to start the season? Yeah. Has Wheeler had his moments? Absolutely. Bonino has been fantastic. He's not a third-line center. So they need to get a third-line center if Hedel can't come back. They need to get a 6th defenseman, and they need to get a winger to replace Blake Wheeler. They need 3 pieces, in my opinion, to get to that next level. And I don't know if this GM1 has the capacity to do that with the cap and everything else to move these guys out. And 2, I don't think, he might not have the stomach to do it. We'll see if he has the balls to make an actual trade, to a trade. Again, and it's the only reference I have is 94. Neil Smith, with this team, it finishes in first in the conference. If this team has the makeup to win a cup, you're going to have to make a trade that hurts. Does Chris Drury have the stomach to make a trade that hurts? I don't think he does. That's my opinion. And this is coming from a guy that actually has a Stanley Cup in Drury. So I don't know. We're going to see.
I think he makes some definitely cogent points. They're definitely good points. They took all the piss and vinegar out of me. I agree with you on almost everything.
Harper being hurt does help them because I'll tell you right now, Harper defensively is better than Gustafson. And guys, you don't need an offensive defenseman playing on your third pair. You don't. I mean, again, if Miller gets hurt or Fox gets hurt again, and then you can slide Gustafson into playing your top 4, then great. But in your bottom 6, and your bottom two defensemen need to be shut down guys. I just don't think you can win a championship when you have the mishmash that's back there.
Well, I think I do agree with you that you want that third pairing. Basically, when they go against their other team's third and fourth lines, to just you want to get a tie out of it. No goals for, no goals against. So that's why I think Zach Jones and having Schneider together is not really. But
Zach Jones will not be here. I think this is his swan song. They're going to package him at the trade deadline. Okay. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But again,
wow, I gotta say, people are responding. I don't know. I agree with you. They need a third line center. I wouldn't mind if they got a. What did you think about? They let go Nico Mikkola for a song. Would you have liked him as a third pairing defenseman?
Absolutely, but you couldn't pay him. I mean, this again harkens back to giving. You can't go back. Obviously, the pandemic changed a lot of things. Giving the money that they gave out. I think they thought the cap was going up, and it hamstrung them. I personally think Trouba's been. I mean, obviously, you like him for a little bit less because he's not putting up points. But from a defensive standpoint, back there, he's a deterrent. He's the only deterrent this team has. This team is too nice, and I've said this a million times. There's too many guys out there that are just too nice, and this team is sometimes too easy to play against because they don't have anybody that's going to ruffle anybody's feathers. He's the only one. He's really the only one. So
he's a villain.
You don't think Trocheck ruffles anybody's feathers?
I think he tries to. I just don't think he has. I just don't think mentally. I don't think anyone really takes him seriously. I mean, you look at him. Do you really take him seriously by looking at him?
No, he's smiling. That's why.
Yeah. Listen, he's definitely played better this season than he did last year. The question is going to be for this team more than anything else, and obviously you need to get there, is how these guys, Panarin included. Now, Panarin, for the regular season, may be one of the best free agent signings in the history of the New York Rangers, maybe the history of New York sports, regular season-wise. How is he going to be? How are these guys going to be when the power plays aren't as many? They still can't score 5-on-5. How is this team going to be when they're not getting as many power plays, when the ice isn't as free, when they're being checked more? That's what I'm concerned about. I said this to Sean. I've said it to people in the group. This team lacks here, between the ears, more than anything else. These mental lapses are, oh shit, now what? And they panic. And to me, that is a mental problem. That is not a coaching problem. That is up here. That's upstairs. And I don't know how you fix that. I think you could have Toe Blake and you could have Scotty Bowman behind the bench. But if you only can play the horses you have, and if they don't have the horses, they only can go so far.
All right. I'll let Jim jump into a second because I feel like it's just me and you are doing our own show right now, which is great. We could maybe do an offshoot show. But here's the thing.
Yeah, we could use another one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the team. You basically blame the core, right?
Yes,
for not having it up here.
This
This is the same team 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
that were the comeback kids. And as far as I'm concerned, with no help from the coach whatsoever, we're able to come back in series and really show the intestinal fortitude that it needs in here to stay in the games. And I want tell me what's different now.
They beat a beat up third string goalie, barely beat a third string goalie for the Penguins. They had to go to 7 games.
In a 7-game series.
If Crosby's not acting that series, they probably lose that series to Pittsburgh.
No,
it's nuts and candy and nuts.
I've said that for 2 years.
Toronto was awful for Carolina. Awful. Shouldn't even been an NHL goalie. He was embarrassing how poor he was. He let a goal in from the corner. Terrible. I mean, you're talking. Yeah. I mean, again, they faced a third string goalie and a backup goal, and the backup goalie. 2 series in a row, and both series still had to go to 7 games. I mean, that's the way the MO of this team is. They don't win series quick. It's 7.
Oh,
7
we know
games
that.
every year.
I mean, then I got to hear all this backup goalie beats us all the time. Oh yeah, and you're one of the first ones who'll beat that drum. Look, they're playing a rookie goalie. You know they're going to lose tonight.
The rookie goalie they've never seen before is it's like the Yankees with the pitcher they've never seen before. And like you said, Ricardo Montalban, which was perfect. I mean, he's 4-0-1 against us. And I guarantee you, and this is one of my favorite lines, and I will use it. You could not pick that guy up out of a lineup. If he fell on you, you wouldn't know who that guy was for Montreal. And that's the Montreal starting goalie. And he's 4-0-1 against the Rangers. Carter Hutton, Jimmy Howard. I mean, and who am I missing? A bunch that owned the Rangers.
Devin Levi.
Ben Bishop for years owned us.
Big Ben Bishop. Okay, listen, I hear goalies. But what happens in 2 weeks and the Rangers go 5-0-1 or whatever they go?
Listen,
you still?
Eddie, I'm not panicking and saying that the season's over. Okay. I'm just trying to point out that this team has been flawed all season, and a lot of this stuff has been masked by their.
The winning masks a lot.
Other things that have happened.
This happens in New York sports all the time. When you win, people don't analyze. They don't look. They just look at the wins. I seen this happen with the Jets. When Zach Wilson, they were winning. I said, Zach Wilson, this guy's the worst quarterback in the world. I go, he has no sense of time out there. Mm-hmm. But when they beat the Giants, oh, look at Zach. He came back at the end of the game. I know you don't follow football a lot, but when winning does mask a lot of things, people don't really delve into and I think that's what we all do.
Well,
fans and the podcasts.
Well, part of it too was, look at this. They're winning without Fox. They're winning without Shishkin. They're winning, without Philip Hedl. So that was okay. Like, all right, I can understand, they're winning, but now those 2 guys come back, and I felt like the team has actually taken a step backward since those 2 guys have come back. They've actually been playing worse. Now, Lancet, Fox has been awful. And he was awful. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago. Fox hurt his wrist right before the All-Star break. And he was not the same the entire season until, I believe, the playoffs. He started to pick it up again. We may see the same thing. Same thing with Igor. Igor gets hurt, and then he goes through this period where he can't find his way for whatever reason. He did it last year. I don't know if you guys remember a game against Vancouver, ironically. The Vancouver had in a goalie again that we never heard before. It was the one time they owned a goalie that just came out of nowhere, third, fourth string goalie. And the Rangers barely beat Vancouver. I think they won 6-4. Eagle was terrible. I mean, he has these moments in the season where he's just not good. But one thing I will say about last year, he was not this bad. I don't remember giving up 6 goals almost every game.
That save percentage just worries me.
I feel like he's been worse this year than last year. And I don't know, maybe it's just because Quick played so well to start the season. But
Artur Silovs is the goalie you're thinking of.
Okay, thank you.
Is he great in the league
anymore?
Right, great.
He's in the KHL.
I'm just saying, it's like they have these mental lapses. To me, are the things that are the most concerning.
Yeah, and those are the fact
that when they're down in a game, you might as well just shut the TV off. I mean, I know the Montreal stinks, but they came back from 3-0. And like you, Jim, I agree. I was okay with that. They showed fight. They came back. They moved on. Great. But, I mean, some of these games, did you think at all they were going to come back last night against Ottawa? Did you think they would come back in that game? I mean.
Well, the Rangers did make it 5-3. I mean, because they give up goals in bunches, after you get over that hump, I feel like, all right, now they settled down, maybe. I didn't think so last night. They just didn't have a lot of shots on goal. Like they
hit 44 shots on goal. Did that game feel like a 44-shot goal? Not a 44.
No, it didn't really. No, but I don't know. I feel like my thing with the Rangers is if you can keep the other team under 25 shots, the Rangers should win 100% of the games. And when that doesn't happen, there's something wrong. I hope it's just the funk. Jim, what do you have to say about this?
Well, just getting back to what Rock was saying about last night's game. They get themselves behind in these games 2 and 3 goals, and it's such a hill to climb. And then they get one, and you feel like that's going to get them back into it, and it's almost like they ease off for a minute, it released a little pressure when they get that one goal. And then so many times they've gotten that one goal, they climb that hill forever. It seems like they finally get that goal and then they give one right back, or they give 2 right back in last night's case.
Now, and what would you constitute that as? Like, what do you feel is the issue? Is that a coaching problem?
I don't think so.
I can't put my finger on it. Why? I mean, like I said at the top of the show, they're giving up the early goal, the late goal, and then the goals in bunches. And I
try to look
in their first period some nights. My God,
Eddie made a joke, but sometimes I don't know what he said after the Rangers give up a goal. I feel like they should call timeout just to settle themselves for a minute, because it's like they get into.
To me, I think it's a player problem. I watch all the goals against, and I'm sure you do too. And I try to look for where did this breakdown start to occur?
Right.
And it's usually some long pass into the Rangers zone. Then it's an isolated 2-on-1, and then it's back. It's in the net.
Yeah.
The guy beats the Ranger defense with 1-on-1, and it's in the back of the net. You got to give props that the Pedersen goal was.
Yeah, it was nice.
I mean, that was phenomenal. And even the other goal, who scored the other goal? Hoglander?
Hoglander.
Yeah. He scored a nice goal.
I think Eagle should have had that. I don't think that was a nice move, but the goal itself through his legs like that, I mean.
Right, that was a little
like he went top shelf under the bar. He went through his legs.
It would be interesting but time consuming to go back and look at the line reports and see when they give up these goals in bunches, the 2 goals in 2 minutes or less, or 3 minutes or less. Who's coming on the ice? Who's he putting on the, what line's coming on the ice and giving up that second goal right away? You know what I mean? Is it always the same line, or is it a team-wide problem? Is it, or is it always
again? And Brett makes a good point. The Rangers can't clear the zone.
Yeah. Well, they've had that problem for a while.
I mean,
that was another problem.
Try to go up the boards, it doesn't get out. Everybody they get like this the temporary palsy where they're too weak to get the puck out, and it's fucking in the.
I mean, on Besser's goal last night, I mean, that all started because Blake Wheeler could not get the puck out. And then he did get it out. Then they're exhausted. They're struggling to get to the bench, and they got caught on the line change, and poof, it's in the net. But it all started because he got out muscled by Connor Garland in the corner, getting the freaking puck out of the zone. 6'6" against 5'10", out muscled in the corner. I just
Judy Garland.
Yeah. Might as well have been.
I know.
It's so frustrating because I actually had some higher hopes for Wheeler. I'm very disappointed in the way he's
So
played.
did I. I
know
thought
it's
he would
hard
be
coming
decent.
from another team, but he's done.
He's done.
He's
Stick
done.
a fork in
He
him.
certainly looks it.
He looks
All right,
done.
Rock, we're going to take
Yes.
it. We're
Guys,
talk to
thanks
Matt
again
before
for
we
letting
go.
me join you. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
No
Two
problem.
Guys, One Cup. It's on Facebook. It's on every.
Thank you. I
Catch it. It's
appreciate
great.
that. Thanks,
It's
guys.
awesome.
Thank you for letting me have some time. Good night.
Take care,
thank
Rock.
you for coming on.
Later.
Rock.
Bye. All right, I'm going to bring Matt on, and I have to go use the facilities. I'll just be a minute. So if you want to talk to Matt real quick, and I'll be right back.
Thanks for saddling me with this. There he is, Matt. How are you?
I'll be right back.
Your voice. I need your mic up. No volume. I don't think you have enough RAM in that computer.
They don't call him Dead Air Morello for nothing.
The M. No.
How are you?
Nothing.
Yeah, waiting. You want to call back in? Try.
Call back in from your phone or something. All right.
He's live from the Comac motor in here.
Right. The Wi-Fi sucks. All right. Call back in. All right. So I won't leave you then. I'll hold it for a
Isn't
minute.
that how? Did I use that word right? Saddled.
Saddled. Yes.
I know. Patty Duke is a horsewoman.
Yes.
What do they call them? She's an equestrian lover.
An equestrian.
Yeah.
Actually, I just had to piss, if you must know.
Ew.
He's
How
the one who
uncouth of this broadcast.
After what Sean said?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Keandre Miller is knocking at your door. He wants to beat you up. Wow, another horsewoman as well. Diane Eck.
Diane Eck as well, and Jen.
That's right. Wow. Yeah.
Patty Duke and Jen, I believe, spent quite a bit of time talking horses at the viewing party.
Oh. My brother, was he there, my brother, last time? No, he wasn't. I had to bring my brother. They can all talk about horses.
I just posted. Hang on, Matt. Matt wants the link.
The link. I mean, again, I just a bump. I'm just concerned. Is it okay to be concerned?
I think it is. I was concerned last year. Everybody told me I was crazy until I wasn't.
Well, I got to say, horsewomen, my brother's ex was a horsewoman, and she's a total nut job. But that's the 1%er.
All right. Matt is back. Let's see if now he's got no video.
He doesn't have enough RAM. Now it just says M. M for Matt.
Somewhere Cutter is laughing. I'll tell you
The
that.
Islanders are losing 3-0 to the Nucks. And their backup. Yeah. And maybe she was. This woman was crazy. I mean, I could do a whole show on her. Anyway, she's probably listening.
Why is she with Larry?
She's with Larry Brooks. She's
with Larry?
typing. She's typing for Larry tonight. Well, while we were waiting for Matt, how do you like this other stuff? This Cutter Gauthier refusing to play with the Flyers, saying he doesn't want. He was a high draft pick, right?
Yeah.
And he says, I don't want to play in Philadelphia, which I think most of us agree that we wouldn't want to play in Philadelphia. He gets traded to Anaheim for Jamie Drysdale.
Do you think he didn't want to play for Philadelphia, or do you think he didn't want to play for Torts?
I think Torts.
Because apparently,
what's Anaheim offering you other than fun in the sun?
Right, because apparently Daniel Briere said that he spoke to this kid before they drafted him, and he was fine with being drafted by Philadelphia. So I'm wondering if maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he didn't want to play for Tortorella. Maybe he sees Dan Girardi using a walker at the age of 37, and he didn't want to play for.
Maybe you don't want to be hollered at.
Right.
Look at this. We could see you.
Can you hear me now?
Hey!
There we go.
Fantastic.
What's up, guys?
All right. Oh, he's got his Michigan shirt on. All right, now I'm going to go. I'll be back in a minute.
National champions. Yep. All right, Matt, you've listened to a lot of the opinions and the views of everybody. What's wrong? What's your take?
Well, as somebody that was there Saturday night, obviously when you go to a game, the perspective of it is different than on TV because your angles are different and looking at it. That even though they tied it 3-3, they looked like they could get nothing going of any substance. And again, from the upper deck of the Bell Center, some of those goals looked just really, really lucky from my vantage angle. Not saying I had a great look at things. And obviously, like I said, the appearance of in the building from way up versus the great view on TV could be different. But it was just so frustrating that they would get one shot on goal and then the puck would go out of the zone and they would have to regroup, or they couldn't get a second, third, fourth chance going. And it was the constant passing to nowhere and the puck would go into the corner and then they would get cleared out. I was beyond happy to get a point out of that, despite playing the worst team in the league or bottom two, bottom three, who they should have annihilated.
Now, I was watching the game, and because I've never been to the Bell Center. That crowd was, again, you were there, so maybe the vibe I got is that they were very kind of wait and see, like they weren't really charged up for the game. I think fans came thinking that they were going to get whitewashed by the Rangers. What kind of vibe did you get when you were there?
I would disagree a little bit. They're very loud because that building is very big.
Okay.
That Go Habs Go is very fucking annoying in person because they just do it over. And there were a lot of Ranger fans there. Shockingly, I thought it was going to be like, well, the Rangers always have fans everywhere, but it's not going to be a lot. There was a lot more than I expected that showed up. And Ranger fans were starting to do "Let's go Rangers" chants, and then of course they got drowned out really quickly with their "Go Habs Go." So they were very vocal, but they weren't. It was almost like a garden crowd where they didn't instigate the chanting first. It was the Ranger fans who did it, and then they quickly drowned it out.
Okay,
fuck those frogs.
I was telling Jim over text. They did a very annoying. The most annoying part was they have in every section these, and it was all women in those overalls that you would see the people in an auto body shop wearing. And
the "Come On Eileen" video.
Yes, and they were holding they were holding tambourines. And every, no joke, 5 seconds would be hitting the tambourine to just make noise and do chants, whether it was "Go Habs Go" or just any dumb thing. It was driving me, my dad, my brother, and the Ranger fans around us just absolutely apeshit, to the point, I'll admit, when the Rangers tied it 3-3, I just started looking at the two on each end of the section, go, "Where are your tambourines? Come on, let's hear it." Now, that might have been the kiss of death because, we lost. But we've all been there when you go to a road game and there's that stupid, annoying thing that the other team will do in person. and then you come back and tie or win a game, and you just want to shove it in their face, I'll admit I got caught up in the moment with it.
Now these women that were wearing the overalls, I know the French Canadians, they like that. They don't like to shave their pits. Did you see any hairy armpits?
They were wearing like a 3/4 length shirt, so I can't report whether
I like
was
the fact that that's my hard-hitting question. Did you see any hairy pits?
It's investigative journalism. I will say this was my first. So the only time I've ever been to Canada was Toronto. I had been there twice. So Montreal or Quebec in general versus Ontario is completely different culturally and everything.
Right.
They hate when you speak English because they want you to speak French because that is clearly the dominant language, and they look down on us dirty Americans so badly when they start speaking French and then you just say hello.
Just tell them if it wasn't for us, they'd all be speaking German.
All right.
They like hearing that.
Well, it's not literally France. It's Quebec.
French Canadians, though. I'm sure the Germans would have taken them too.
Maybe. I will. Listen, I mean, yeah, I could see that being annoying. I don't. I used to hate when the Canadian fans would invade the Garden because they're so entitled. I think they
were not happy with how the Ranger fan invaded that building. You could just tell.
Good.
And yeah, I didn't care. I went from thinking, great, I came all the way here, we're gonna get blown out, to you get so invested once they tie it. I'm like, oh, I just want to win now because this would be great to shut them up. And I don't know if this has been talked about so far, but that shootout, the fact they threw Lafreniere out there third, and I'm not normally a guy that gets annoyed with the shootout lineup because it's such a crapshoot, but you're telling me that Lafreniere that night was the third best person to shoot over, I could name 3 or 5 other people I would have rather thrown out there. Again, and I really haven't critiqued Laviolette a whole lot, and I know it's a very small, trivial thing, but a lot of the people when we were walking out that were Ranger fans were going, I don't get where he came up with this as his option.
I did mention that earlier.
Yeah.
Now I don't know because
I don't know.
family
I think half the time it's playing a hunch.
Yeah, but the guy is not. He doesn't have hands. Well, I don't know. I mean, I question it too, but it's Monday morning quarterback.
Didn't he score a shootout goal earlier this season?
Never.
Never.
He might.
I'm only kidding, Jim. I don't know if he had or not. I don't know. Yeah, I could. Lafreniere's mom and dad are interchangeable, by the way. I couldn't tell you. That's what Chris said, and
he scored against Elvis Merzlikins against Columbus.
All right, you got
speaking
me.
Speaking of the parents of the Rangers,
Uh-huh.
so we're at a bar beforehand down the block. Whose parents showed up?
Let me guess. Who would have alcoholic parents? Andre Miller.
You're in the right ball field, but not the right race.
The right race. Jim Pack. No, I don't know.
Brendan Hoffman.
Oh.
And I only recognize them because 2 nights before, Toucan Sam and the other idiot just kept shoving it down your face. They kept showing the camera of them.
Oh.
So it was in my head, and all of a sudden I see them. I go, wait a minute. Why do I
his
recognize
mother was on the
people?
phone the whole game.
Is that? Oh,
She was on the phone.
Every time they
She was on
showed
the
his
phone in the
mother, she
bar.
was on her phone. Like, your son's playing in his NHL debut. You're on your phone?
Get off the phone.
Right. Put the phone down.
Was her husband there? I don't remember this.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was there.
The husband's got to say, get off the phone.
And his sister.
His sister was not at the bar. I was very disappointed.
She didn't look old enough to be at a bar.
Canada has a younger age for it. I think they only have to be 18.
Maybe Doug was making out with her outside.
Yeah.
Poor Doug. God bless him.
God bless Dougie.
You go, Doug.
So you have any questions from Matt? I've asked him about the armpits and the
Matt said that Well, he was texting me during the game. He said the people weren't very nice to him.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the the arrogance of the French people, but they are again like when you speak English or they know you're American or maybe New York or a combination of the two, they just treated us like absolute pieces of crap.
See, that's weird. It's weird because my experience in Montreal was pretty good actually, and when I went to Quebec, when they had a hockey team, and I went there for the playoffs against the Rangers, they were all pretty nice to us, except for the girl that sat behind us that went batshit crazy when the Rangers started blowing Quebec out. I mean, she flipped out. Her boyfriend had to carry her out of Le Coliseum. He carried her up the stairs because she was flipping out.
I'm kind of jealous that you got to go to Le Coliseum.
Yeah, it was cool, and there weren't many Ranger fans. These were the days before you could buy tickets on the internet, get them on the internet. So my brother actually had to call and get them, through Canadian Ticketmaster or Canadian Tire or Cutter's uncle or son. I don't know, whatever.
That's so funny, huh? All right, well there you go, and so you were pretty much okay. We just got a point out of this. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
with a backup goalie.
Yeah, once you went down 3-0 and then you got to the point of tying it, the minute overtime happened at that point, I said, all right, I'll take this as, what overtime now is, the moral win of you get the loser point or the participation point. It was one of the few times where you can't get annoyed given the situation. Although if you're the glass half empty Ranger fan like most of us are, you could say this team sucks, we should have blew them out. It's still a loss, so to speak, but over an 82-game season, I'd rather have 1 point than have none.
I concur.
I agree with that.
Are you noticing with Quick that, and again, maybe it's age or we just weren't used to him outside of the finals, because he was all the way on the West Coast, but he very often, or maybe it's more recently, he made that one save where he was on his side and had his legs kicked out, and he does the whole flailing act like he's JD. But he is, and especially in that Montreal game, he was doing that a lot, where that's like his go-to bailout move, and it scares the shit out of me every time he does it.
He does.
He flails. He's a flailer.
Yeah, he goes into full whale out mode. Like he's just on his back, and he's like, like JD, like you said.
And he does that Henrik thing where if he thinks the puck went past him, he turns his head, which is always any goalie that does that to me when they think it goes past them and they do that over the shoulder look, that just is and Henrik did that towards the end of his career, and now Quick's starting to do it. That's always that they're not confident in how they're playing if they're like second guessing themselves.
Yeah, there were a couple of shots where he looked up at his glove and the puck was behind him off the post or off the crossbar.
Yeah, it's gonna listen. It's not gonna be easy. I mean, it started off looking like it's gonna be a cakewalk, but the Rangers have hit some bumps, and we'll see what's gonna go on.
How much were the tickets?
They were actually very affordable. So when you take in like the Canadian exchange rate, 3 tickets came out to like a little over $200 for
Per
all
ticket
3.
or total for all 3?
Total.
$200 American.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable.
That's very reasonable.
What do they get for a beer at that place?
Less than $10.
Really?
Less than wine. They only have wine. That's it.
They got that Molson export in that place.
I thought it was going to only be Molson or Labatt, but they had your regular Coors Light, all that other. But everything was dirt cheap. Like I got a Ranger hoodie in a shop for $35 their money, which was like 20-something ours. Like if you want to go there, you'll get out of there, dirt cheap. Every restaurant we were in was, the food was decent and it wasn't that expensive at all. We watched the football game Sunday before we flew out, and it was relatively.
Don't watch your American football here. Get out.
No, they see. I thought that was the case. They much prefer our football and don't give a rat's ass about that football they play over there.
You mean the Montreal Medique?
No, the Alouettes.
Oh, the Alouettes. I thought you meant.
Yeah, they don't care about their football. We asked
Who's-
them about that.
Who's going to a Canadians game and drinking Coors Light?
Us, the Americans.
The filthy American swine. Robert
Yeah.
Schmidt's taking you to task here, man. He says Rangers dominated Montreal in the second and third. What game were you watching?
The one from the upper deck of the Bell Center where when I had fat people next to me because the Canadian seats are this thin, I'm shocked I'm still breathing. I was so, squished in there.
Squashed in there. You were like the jaws of life there.
Well, it's between that and they had the old school railing in front of the seat. So
you can't put you. Yeah, I get it.
you couldn't move. You're like holding on, trying to lean over because it's on like an incline. So I sent Jim the photo. Our seat wasn't obstructive to the ice or anything, but everybody's like, oh, when you go to the Bell Center, you got to look at all the banners, the 24 Stanley Cups, and all the retired numbers. We couldn't see it because they had this like catwalk that was covering it.
The
So
Chase
I'm
Bridge.
their version of the Chase Bridge, right?
Huh.
Scotiabank Bridge.
But compared to every other NHL arena I've been to, I would say the Bell Center is actually on the lower end. Because it seems like they built it in the 90s and it was, modern, but they haven't done a whole lot to bring it up to current.
Date.
Yeah, like I would say the Prudential Center is way better. TD Garden's way better. Yeah, a transition.
Yeah, they transition. Well, I don't like, as a larger mammal, I don't like those tiny seats that they built for like people from 1950. Like everybody used to be skinnier in the 50s. Like you go to. If you go to Wrigley, those seats are fucking so small, and there's no room for your knees, like you said with the railing. I mean, it's just uncomfortable. I don't even know how skinny people could do it.
It's like you're at a game at Ebbets Field.
Yeah. Although I was never to Ebbets Field, but yeah, it's update it. I want cushions. This is we got heated seats in the movie theaters. Now you go to a hockey game, you got to sit there for 3 hours like a fucking schmo. You can't even be comfortable in the seats. Two fat guys sit in between you.
It's bad when I was the week before at the mausoleum for AEW, and the seat was a lot better there, and I had no problems there, and I wanted to bash that place every way, up, down, left, and right. And other than them not having French fries at Nathan's, which makes absolutely no sense.
What?
But,
why even have?
Yeah, I was meaning to tell you this.
Fries, they're awesome.
Well, I wasn't able to have them because you would think in New York at a place that has Nathan's, you would have French fries. No, they didn't.
You should write a letter to Harry M. Stevens and complain. That's such a washed reference.
Why don't I get Crossroads Consulting to do it?
Yes. Mitch Beck and company.
Yes.
Are they still selling those cupcakes there?
No, the tattoo shop wasn't there anymore. I was looking to get another tattoo. Lou wasn't there. Yeah, there's plenty of bullet wounds though in the parking lot from the gun shop across the street and needles, but you can get plenty of that. But no, the cupcake shop and the tattoo shop.
Joy Rosen having sex in the parking lot.
Yeah, she was, for $20, you got 10 minutes with her in the parking lot to ring in the new year.
Well, thank you so much for your update. I'm glad you went. I wish it would have been better results, but I think what's your take on the Rangers Wolves before we let you go here? Because we're at coming up on a hard break here.
Overall, look, it's an 82-game season. Am I happy with how they're playing? No. You couldn't keep how hot they were playing forever. I think there's problems for sure. I agree with people that not Trouba. Miller is. I'm seeing regression, or I'm not seeing what we once thought we had. I think one of the. Well, I can't disagree. I think if anything, and I don't want to look towards the offseason, I'm not Costa. But I will say the one thing with his capnomics, sabernomics with the salary cap, like you said, Eddie, I think last offseason, if he wants $6 million or $6.5 million, no thanks. As much as he's heart and soul and he's a team leader, I don't want to pay a guy $6.5 million who gets hurt every game or every couple games. I can't do it. You could find that elsewhere for less, at least in my opinion.
You make sense. You're talking good now. Stinks.
Wow, I appreciate it. Yeah. You know, and again, he gives you no offense. That's my other problem with him. And I know not every player is going to be, Luke Hughes with the Devils with 10, 15 goals, but I'm not paying a guy $6 million who's hurt all the time and gives me nothing offensively in return.
Well, I retract that stinks. I think Ryan Lindgren's a good player. I like him, but not for $6 million. Take a walk, Charlie. You'll be a third pairing defenseman in 2 years. That's what he's headed towards.
Or on the Michael Sauer plan.
Yeah, he's just hurt. But then, right now everybody's got a target on their back with the Rangers because nobody's really playing well except for that second line. I mean, that's it. So
and look, Wheeler, I was negative on the signing in the summer because I thought this is an old guy. This was like a Sather move if there ever was one. He had his, 15 minutes of fame in the beginning of the year, but I think the sad reality is we got a guy, on the senior citizens list that was dirt cheap because he wanted to play, and there's nothing left anymore. There's no mustard left in the bottle.
Exactly. And Clyde's got 20 goals. I'm not saying, but 5-on-5, these guys got to start making some differences. Euro. I mean, I don't know. Well, thank you so much.
It's the same three guys that score. If it's not Kreider, if it's not Panarin, if it's not Zibanejad,
it's Trocheck.
And Trocheck. If it's not, we get screwed. That's all where the scoring has sadly come from on a consistent basis.
And Jimmy Vesey on the fourth line with 7 goals. I mean, that's really nobody else scores.
And look, Vesey's played great. I was critical of him when he was here the first time, but for what he's done and how he reinvented himself, I'll eat crow.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with that tiny head he's got. All right, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the report, Matt.
Thank you.
No problem.
Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Did you happen to see the picture I posted in our group from the Devils game the other night?
No, I did not.
The girl with her hand down her boyfriend's pants.
Oh, yes, I did see that. Yes.
There's video.
Oh, can we see it?
Can we see it?
You got me all charged up here.
Can we see it?
What is she doing? Is she really doing what she looked like she was doing? I got classy fans over there.
You tell me what she's doing.
This is
Hey, baby, check my prostate during the national anthem, will you?
all right. What the fuck? I mean, I seen everything now. I mean, I could see if she was like stroking them off or whatever, but having a finger up your ass, how does that
Devil's
pleasurable in that scenario? I'm standing up during the national anthem, and hey, honey, let's do something crazy at the game.
Right.
Stick your finger up my ass. Look, I wore my droopy drawers just in case. The guy already had droopy drawers. He was all ready for it.
She was full on in.
That's disgusting. Let me tell you something. There is stuff. I don't find anything disgusting. I am a fucking wretch of a human being. Okay. That to me is disgusting.
Devils fans.
These fucking people are just fucking out of their minds.
During the anthem?
I'm sure the veterans appreciated that. I don't know. Maybe he put his wallet between his cheeks and she was trying to get it.
If I was sitting behind, I would not have been able to keep silent. I would have been like,
I wouldn't have been.
I would have been narrating. What are you doing? Are you checking his temperature? What are you
doing? Like, look at this broad.
Are you going to eat with that hand?
Yeah. She grabs the nachos.
Right.
I gotta say,
anybody got any hand sanitizer?
What the fuck were these people thinking? Oh God, savages.
What you look
One
like?
more thing for you before we say goodnight.
She's changing his oil.
Can you name that?
There he is.
Can you name that? You know who that is? Can you name that player?
Oh man, I'm trying. Oh God, I cannot name that player. Can you give me a hint? Did he play with the Rangers at any point?
No.
Greg?
I don't.
No, go ahead.
Hang on. Let's see. Toronto played former Toronto Maple Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Also played for the Blackhawks, and then spent most of his career in the minor leagues. Diane Eck nailed it.
Wow. He was in Slapshot, too. Wow. People think Jen said it looked like you as a kid.
Thanks.
Wow.
He's chubby with bad hair. It's got to be Jim.
Well, you had bad hair as a kid?
No, not really. I don't know. I had a kid's haircut.
I used to get the John. They named it after John F. Kennedy Jr. It was a haircut. It was ridiculous. I looked like Chaka from fucking what was it? Land of the Lost. Harry. Sorry. Wow. All right. I see? That's all we got. We ran late tonight, man.
2.5 hours of commercial-free entertainment.
Yeah. Diane, when did you win? I don't know. You get a date with Bruce Boudreaux.
As Costa would say, still good.
Still good. Their show's more serious than your show. Fucking Siskel and Ebert together. It's fucking dope. He just can't help himself.
What was the name of their band? Stupid Cube?
Stupid Cube. A little more serious than Idiot Box.
Right.
All right. So that's it. Who we got coming up? They're playing some
St. Louis tomorrow night.
St. Louis is bad.
In St. Louis, that's an 8:00 game.
Although St. Louis
and then a
goaltender that's playing well.
And then a good old-fashioned home and home with the Capitals. Saturday in Washington, Sunday at home.
Oh, wow.
Ryan Reeves is going to take out Tom Wilson. This is the weekend.
He's finally going to do it.
Retribution is happening, folks. Get ready. The deterrent will be on the ice.
And the Rangers, like Toronto, the Rangers are going to sign him for 3 years.
But yeah, a good old-fashioned home and home.
I like it.
They don't seem to do these anymore, right? Very much.
Yeah, and Tom Wilson is hurt and did you see Jack Hughes for the aforementioned prostate?
He's
rubbing devils. It's going to be week to week. That's a big loss.
Wow. So tomorrow night, MSG. Saturday afternoon, they're on ABC. And then Sunday afternoon, they're on MSG.
On that ABC game, is Keith Jackson and Frank Boyle doing that game?
Once again, brilliant scheduling by the NHL. First weekend of the NFL playoffs. Let's play a couple of afternoon hockey games.
I am convinced that the schedule is being made by Chat GPT or whatever that thing's called. They put it in an AI thing, and that's what happened. Because it makes no sense.
Saturday, the football game is at 4th. There's a game at 4:30 and then an 8 p.m. game. Sunday, there are games all day. So they will be up against the Steelers and Bills game.
Huh. I haven't really looked.
Ryan Leach will have a decision to make. He's a big Bills fan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's part of the Bills Mafia. All right. That's about it.
Oh, too loud. Turn that.
That's good. Good enough.
I got the levels. It's too high, then you can't talk over it.
Oh.
That's better. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Don't forget the viewing party, February 24th. Yes, Sam and JD. We love you guys. Eddie, always a pleasure.
Yes. Try to stay calm, everybody. I haven't been a good example. I've been losing my mind. I even stood up like 4 times today. We love you all
for being here. We had a big crowd tonight. We appreciate it. We know there's 800 podcasts to choose from.
I'm glad you choose ours.
We're just glad this one's still good.
That's true. Well, it depends who you talk to. You talk to Costa, he'll start disseminating.
Right. We're not the most serious show, but we never intended to be. So
remember, don't panic.
Don't panic. All is well. All right. We'll see you guys next week. We love you. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Ooh.